So let's talk for a moment here about sensors, how your holding tank sensors work. So as I mentioned, freshwater, gray water, black water, they all have sensors inside. There's different styles. Some of them use probes that go through the wall. Some use externally mounted sensors that kind of send an electrical signal through. But the most common are what are called button style. And we have a nice little setup here to kind of like help you visualize what's going on. So these are what the button sensors look like inside your tank. Now, what you don't see is there's actually a sensor probe down here. That's your bottom, your ground. But then you have 1/3, 2/3 full. So over here is our panel. You have your gray, black, fresh, and battery. This is hooked up for black. So if I click the black button, you'll see it goes to 1/3 full, which is accurate because if you look at the water level, it's hitting the 1/3 button. Again, 1/3, 2/3 full. So here's what's interesting. You get a holding tank. Let's just pretend this is your black tank. You start using it, and let's just say you get a little paper like this, okay? You get a little paper, and I stick it on this top probe. And I do this demonstration a lot with people at shows, and I always say, what do you think is gonna happen here? And 99% of the time, people go, oh, it's gonna misread. It's going to think the tank is full. And I say, okay, I mean, that's logical, right? You have waste on the probe. Let's go ahead and hit our button, and let's see what happens. So if I hit the black tank button, wait a minute, it's still at 1/3. Why is that? My tank sensors always misread. I thought it's because I had some stuff on top. Well, you did, but let me show you what's really happening. So the way these sensors work, the one that really matters is this bottom ground. All of these, 1/3, 2/3 full, are communicating with this bottom ground. So for you to have tank sensors that are misreading, what's really happening is one of your sensor probes has now completed this circuit because it's dipping down into the water. And I'll explain that in a second here, but let me just show you. Now if I hit black, see how it shows full? So what's going on here is we have now closed this circuit by creating a continuous circuit of the water running down this paper into here, connecting to the ground. If you actually have misreading sensors, you might in your mind think you just have this little teeny tiny piece of paper that's stuck on the probe. I hate to break it to you, but what you really have is a giant stalactite of paper and poop running down your tank wall into your tank. So this is why you want to make sure that the waste is broken up. You can just stay there, I'll just grab this. As we showed you guys earlier, this is what our products do to waste. That's the dog food. If I showed you toilet paper, it would do the exact same thing. You want this because that cannot turn into a stalactite of waste like that can. If you use one of these products and you're mixing it with paper, this is what it's been doing over the last day we've been shooting this. Nothing. It still hasn't broken anything down. That waste is going to start building up inside there and creating misreading sensors. Now you understand why it's important to break down this waste so that you don't get that. Let's take a break from the video for a second here to talk about this little guy. This booklet is gonna be your best friend. Inside this book, we cover everything. We talk about black tanks, gray tanks, how to use your valves, how to use water, how often to dump your tanks, how to prevent clogs, how to diagnose clogs. Literally, if you have anything wastewater or freshwater related to your RV, it's in this book. So, how do you get one of these? Pretty easy. If you place an order from our website, it will have one. Many RV dealerships around the country have these for free. You can pick one up. Or, right down there in the description, we have a link where you can download a PDF version of it. I'm gonna tell you right now, this thing is a lifesaver. Keep it in the RV. It's got all kinds of QR codes you can scan that take you to videos that cover all of these things. Seriously, this is literally all you need right here. So, sure, this video is fantastic. You're gonna learn a lot here. You might forget some of it. This is a nice thing just to keep in the RV as you're driving around because you don't always have internet everywhere you go. So grab one of these things and trust me, it's gonna help you out. Back to the video. The next question would be, what do you do when you get that? Well, it's really simple. There are products on the market. We have one, it's called Restore It. All you have to do is fill your tank up with water to the very top, You add the Restored in, and just the same way that you have seen it break down this, it's going to do that inside your tank. It's going to break everything down, and when it liquefies all that waste, it's going to release it from the probe. It's going to make your sensors read properly again. This might sound logical, but I have to say it because it's amazing how many people don't get this. Restore It can only clean as high as the water level goes. And here's why this is important. If we had this line of paper running down here that's causing the sensor to misread, if I put Restore It only up to, say, this level, when I clean it, it's only going to clean to this level, which means you might still have paper on top there. And you might think you solved your problem because you're back to 1/3 full, when in fact, you really should have gone all the way to the top to clean this off, because now that's a magnet to capture more paper later. So just make sure that when you're restoring your sensors, you fill them all the way to the top. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we actually have other videos that explain this, but there is a scenario where sometimes your sensors are misreading not because they're dirty, but because they're broken. And there's an easy way to know if your sensors are broken or if they are dirty. Remember how I showed you that the only way that this can misread is because it has to create the full loop? The whole full circuit? You can imagine that if this toilet paper was to dry out, the water is what's conducting this electricity. If this water all dried out, there'd be nothing to conduct there. And here's where I'm going with this. If you put your RV into storage for a few weeks and you know your tank is totally dry, that can complete that whole loop because there's no water to do it. So if you know your tank is dry, and you go to hit your black tank button and it shows that it's full, that means your sensors are broken, not they're dirty. So the rule of thumb is dry tank, if it reads full, broken sensors. Wet tank that you know is only moist, but it's not necessarily full. When you push those buttons, if it reads full, that means you have misreading sensors, okay? So it's just about dry or wet. So this is the black tank. I want to briefly touch on the gray tank, but before I do, I want to point one quick thing out to you. Back to our black tank here. This is where your toilet goes in. This is where your water comes out. Your sensor probes, it makes sense, are always on the deepest end because they want to make sure that they're measuring the deep end. So here's what's going to happen. You can imagine your probes are right here. These probes are at the bottom. When you open your valve and you dump your tank, what is the water doing? Mentioned before, when you rinse it, it goes kush, 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 kush. Well, as it does that, it's going kush, 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 kush. It's creating all kinds of force. It's taking all of the solids, all of the paper, and it's forcing it out this little hole. But guess where the sensor probes are? Right next to that. So even when the waste is fully broken down, fully digested, you are literally taking all of the waste and you are shoving it against those sensors. So again, this is why it's critical that not only you break the waste down as much as you possibly can, because the nature of dumping your tank means you're pushing waste into those sensor probes and you're going to cause that problem I just showed you. That's why you want to break the waste down. This is why it's also hyper critical that you rinse your tank. Because after you've dumped it and you have that little bit of waste that's kind of piled up here as it evacuated, a rinse is going to lift all of that up and take it back out. So break the waste down and be sure to rinse following our practice of filling your tank and dumping your tank, and you should have no sensor issues at all in your black tank. We talked about the gray tank and how if you keep the gray tank valve open, you don't capture water on the side and grease on the side, and that's what causes the sensors to misread. The only reason I wanted to talk about gray tanks is because I wanted to explain to you how this works. Inside of our demonstration here, we used paper. Paper and water. The water is conductive, which allows that circuit to close. Grease, however, is not conductive. If you want to be a little home scientist, you can test this out yourself. You cannot run electricity through grease. So how is it possible that getting grease buildup on your gray tank wall creates misreading sensors? What's happening is if this is the side of your gray tank, this is the grease, you can imagine in between the grease and the gray tank, there's a small amount of space that's capturing moisture behind there. And that moisture is what's closing that circuit. You could say that grease is causing your sensors to misread. That wouldn't technically be true. Water is causing your misreadings in your sensors, but the grease is what's holding the water there, okay? So this is why if you leave your gray tank valve open, you don't deal with misreading gray tank sensors because there's no grease to build up. This is why also when you're boondocking and you do leave the valve closed, that's why you want to do that deep clean each week. That's why when you're cleaning your floor of your tank, following our process, even when you're on hookups with the valve open, you're also cleaning and getting rid of that grease. You want grease to get up and out of the gray tank so that it doesn't cause smells or misreading sensors inside the gray tank. All right, so hopefully that helps you kind of understand, have a visual as to what's happening inside your black and your gray tank. Helps you understand why you want to make sure you break down the waste thoroughly and why you rinse the tank. It helps you understand why you want to deep clean your gray tanks and why you shouldn't rely on gray tank treatments. Just use Dawn Ultra. It's really simple. Hopefully it kind of peeled back the curtain on these tanks and helped you see what's going on inside and helped you to understand it's not as complicated as you might think. So we've talked about a few myths. You know, you don't really want to lead into the whole pine sol Calgon thing. It doesn't work. It's just going to cause problems. We've also talked about how you don't need to spend money on gray tank treatments or how you don't need to spend money on tank rinsers or tank wands. One of the other myths I want to talk about is people saying you should put ice in your holding tank to deep clean your black tank. The theory is this: if you have your black tank, if you fill it with ice across the bottom, as you drive, you're gonna get a shimmying motion like this. And the theory is the ice is just gonna go flying all over the place. It's gonna bang into the walls, it's gonna bang into the sensors, it's gonna bang into the ledges up here, and it's gonna get all of the waste knocked down and cleaned up and cleaned out. Here is the problem. We've tested this. As I've mentioned several times, and you've seen in our videos, we have clear holding tanks. And we put a clear holding tank in one of the trucks that we have, and we put ice inside there, and we drove like crazy. And you know what happened? Nothing. That ice inside there, not only is it not smashing against the walls, it's hardly even moving. And trust me, the way we were driving like madmen. A way you would never drive your RV. We were swerving and braking and hitting all kinds of speed and gas and brakes. In your normal RV life, what's gonna end up happening is that ice is just gonna do this. It's not gonna do anything. So this is a myth you just need to let go. If you really wanna clean your sensors, if you really wanna clean your tank, just do the things we've been talking about here. Use a good waste digester, rinse your tanks by filling them and emptying them. And if you ever need to do a clean on your sensors, just use a product like Restore It to clean your sensors. The ice is not going to get the job done. Additionally, one last thing to consider too, when your tank is being held onto the chassis like this, if you have too much weight inside that tank as you're driving around, especially with cheaper tanks, and there are unfortunately some cheap tanks that are out there, they will start to sag. And as they start to sag, they can literally start to fall off of the rails. So that means if you're driving around with ice in your tank and water trying to clean it, you also run the risk of having a tank drop on you. It's actually a better practice to not drive with full black tanks. Have we done it? Sure. Many of us have done it. Sometimes you just have to get to the dump station. Sometimes you just want to get home that last little bit. Probably not going to hurt you if you do it a little bit, but to make a regular practice out of it, to do it regularly with ice, not only are you not accomplishing something with the ice, it's doing nothing, more than likely you're running the risk of having a black tank issue where it sags and drops. So ditch the ice. It's a myth. It doesn't work at all. One last thing while we're on the topic of myths, there are people out there who will tell you you should not have your tanks routinely cleaned. Our products, I will admit, are great products. They are going to break down waste. They're going to control odors. They're going to do it using bacteria and not chemicals. They're great products. I talk about our products all the time in dental analogies, right? So like using our RV Digested Ultra, which is the tank treatment, that's like brushing your teeth every day. You wanna do that. But it's always a good idea to go to the dentist a couple times a year and get a deep clean. Okay, so when it comes time to do that, you have two options. One, you can use a product like ours called Clean It. That is like doing a deep clean inside your black tank. It's really great for people who are full-timers, people who have stationary units, or people who just want to do a deep clean at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. Another option is having your tanks professionally cleaned, which we are big advocates for. This is a situation where they send in a hose basically and clean from the outside, and they clean every nook and cranny of your tanks. I will say some tank cleaners are better than others, so do your due diligence, do some research, make sure you hire a good tank cleaner who knows what they're doing. But it's a good idea to have your tanks cleaned once a year, maybe twice a year if you have an RV that never moves or has, it's slightly parked out of level like I was talking before. If it's out of level, that waste starts to build up over time because you're not dumping it. Let's say you live in your RV year-round, it hasn't been moved in years, it's slightly out of level. You probably want to have someone come professionally clean your tanks a couple times per year. So the choice is yours. You can use a product like ours, clean it, or you can use a tank cleaner to do the same thing. Both cases, you're going to get a great clean from it, but I would say that is not a myth. Deep cleaning is important, and it's important that you do it regularly to make sure that your tanks stay clean. Another reason why it's helpful is because, as I mentioned on these ledges, I talked earlier how if the water is only filling to, say, 2/3, when you dump it, there's a lot of waste that will have captured up in these ledges that isn't getting cleaned out. That's why you rinse your tank. When you have your tank deep cleaned, it's going to clean all those nooks and crannies, those corners and ledges where waste may have gotten stuck up inside there. And I've talked to a lot of people where they just have a smell they can't get rid of. They're doing everything right. They're cleaning their tanks with RV Digested Ultra. They are rinsing their tanks. They're flushing. They're doing everything, but they just got that one odor. Well, oftentimes getting the tank either professionally cleaned or using Clean It solves that problem, because what they didn't realize is there was some little bit of waste right around here that was just stuck and hard and dry there on the ledge, and Clean It did it there. Or having your tank cleaned does it. So again, this is in the not myth zone. Great idea to routinely deep clean your tanks 1 to 2 times per year by either hiring somebody or using Clean It. Well, I hope that video helped you, and as you probably know, this shorter video is part of a longer series where we talk about all the wastewater aspects in your RV. So head on over and watch the rest of that video if you're interested in learning more about your gray tanks, your freshwater tanks. But until then, thanks for watching. I'm Ricky from Unique Camping and Marine. Happy camping.